How you doing, everybody? Today I'm going to tell you guys another Bozo Chronicle. I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I caught my last burglary. It's about 6 years ago. That one beat me up too, definitely beat me up. But it happened around 6 years ago, like I just said. I had a good friend of mine. He came up short for his rent money, and like I said, he was a good friend. So I said, let's get that money. Let me help you get that money for your rent. He's like, how do you want to do that? How the hell can we do it? He's like, I'm not really trying to do nothing crazy. Just let's go run into a house, man. Let's burglarize a house. And he wasn't with it. Smarter than me, he wasn't with it. And I told him, listen, man, I just did a whole bunch of burglaries. The only reason why I got caught for them was because I got told on we're friends. We're not going to tell each other, so so we're good. We're good. We're safe. And I convinced him to do it. So we picked an area that we thought might have a decent amount of money or jewelry in there, and we found a house that we were both comfortable with. And what I normally do is I go and I knock on the door, and if nobody answers, I knock louder. And if nobody answers, then I usually kick the door. I kick the door hard because I want to make sure nobody's in the shower, and I want to make sure nobody's sleeping. Because if somebody's in the house when I break in, then it's not a burglary no more. It's a home invasion, and the time for that is it's a lot. It's a big difference, the amount of time you got to do if you get in trouble for it. And I wasn't trying to get in that much trouble, God forbid if I did get caught. And number two is I don't want to stress anybody out. It's already stressful enough getting your house robbed. Imagine having to be in there because you don't know if I'm going to try to hurt you, which I wouldn't, but you don't know if I'm going to try to hurt you. It's just a lot more. It's just easier to make sure nobody's home. So I would do it like that. And I did that there. Nobody answered the door. So me and my boy, we went into the backyard, and none of the windows were locked, to get into the house. So I had to break one of the windows. I broke a window, and I reached into the window to unlock the latch. And as I pulled my hand back in, I cut the top of my hand. I had gloves on, obviously, but it pulled the glove down and cut my hand. And it really wasn't a deep cut. It was just a scratch, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. It was bleeding pretty bad, So I kept trying to clean it up. I pulled the gloves up higher, and it was time to go in. So, we went in, we went right to the master bedroom, and there was some jewelry there. Nothing too crazy, but there was some jewelry. And they had the person had these little, it was all in jewelry boxes, little cardboard boxes where you might give, someone a ring if you're proposing. It was just a bunch of those, or the square wooden, square cardboard ones and whatnot. And my friend kept trying to leave. And I'm trying to open all the boxes up, and he kept running, coming back saying, hurry up, hurry up. Told him, listen, man, we already broke the law. We're already in this house. I'm checking every one of these boxes, and it was a good thing too, because the second to last box I checked had a little small stack of money, all hundreds. That's all I seen at the moment. At least it was all hundreds, So I said, now we can go. After I opened up the last one, and I'm checking for blood the whole time, making sure I didn't leave a drop. And as far as I was concerned, I didn't, So we hopped out, got back into the car, left, and a few grand in cash, and we had a little bit of jewelry, whatnot. He paid his rent. I went clothes shopping. Everything was all good as far as I was concerned. That happened in October, and it was always in the back of my mind that I was going to get in trouble for it because I might have dropped a few drops of blood. But I'm thinking it's only a house burglary. They're not going to bring CSI there to take blood samples. It's not a murder. It's not a rape. It's just a house burglary. But little did I didn't keep in mind that this is freaking Long Island, Suffolk County, so of course they're going to bring CSI or whatever it is they did to collect that blood sample, and I go back up on a parole violation in January, go to my spot, and one of the positions I had, for work was delivering caustic boxes. Caustic boxes are little toolboxes filled with cleaning chemicals, cleaning supplies. One of the places I delivered it to was Draft. Draft is where the inmates get shipped out and in, whether it be court, another facility, home, hospital trip, whatever. That's where you go. And I go to drop the box down, and I go to leave, and they're like, you got court next week? And I'm like, nah, I don't. And I go to leave. They're like, you sure? And I'm like, nah, I'm not sure. Do I got court next week? Like, what's up? So they ran my number again. And they said, yeah, you got court next week. And my heart sank. I'm like, for what? They're like, we don't know. It's just a writ. It's in order to produce you, So I'm like, all right. I told my family, I think I'm getting arrested for another burglary. They're saying I got court coming up. And, I go to downstate from my facility, and I wait to get picked up by Suffolk County. They pick me up, and I asked them, what am I going to court for? What am I being arrested for? they said it was criminal mischief in the third, felony. It was for damaging my GPS tracking device that I received. I received a GPS tracking device on my ankle because I got caught fraternizing with parolees, which is against the rules. It's real stupid. I just had a parolee's name and info in my contact list, with his phone number. And, yeah, so, I'm happy. When I went to my final hearing, because that's how I violated the parole. So when I went to the final hearing for that and got the year parole violation, they told me that the DA wasn't picking up the case. They weren't going to arrest me for it because I didn't really damage it. I just clipped the band off. That's how they found it. They found the GPS device because it still worked. I threw it on the expressway, the LIE. So I was happy, because I'm doing a year parole violation anyway. The amount of time I'd get for that, it wouldn't be more than the parole violation. I would just get it ran together, and it wouldn't be that serious. So I go to court, all right, for that, and I see my legal aid, and I tell her, listen, like I know you don't normally do this, but if you can get me arraigned first call, and second call get me sentenced, I'll take a year. I'll take a whole year for this right now. Just run with my violation. Let me go back upstate. And she's like, all right, let me see what they want to do. So she goes and comes back, and she's like, yeah, they'll take the year, but they want it ran consecutive. I said, what? She said, yeah, they want it, parole violation, and then you do the year for the charge. I'm like, nah, there's no way I'm going upstate and giving a year to the year for the violation, then coming down giving a year both for the same thing. She's like, it's not the same. One's a charge, one's a parole violation. I said, all right, well, I got a year to kill. I want to go to trial. Fuck it, And she's like, all right, I won't waive you 18080. 18080 is if they don't indict you on that day, if you're there for just that, they got to ROR you, And I was a state inmate anyway, so I'd stay incarcerated, but we would see how serious they are with it. So I go on my 18080 day. They don't indict me, and we still put a bail on it, so at least the time that I'm in there for counts. I do the prep for the 30-30 motion where they got to be ready for a speedy trial or just drop the shit. You know what I mean? And they set a date, and instead of keeping me down in that jail, they send me to downstate, which is not what they normally do. So I'm like, all right, they must have dropped it. I'm gonna go back to my facility and go on with my life. My court date comes and passes. I don't get produced. So I'm like, all right, they dropped it. I'm good. A week later, I'm still in downstate. I'm getting my hair cut. The cop's like, yeah, you have to get your hair cut. You got to go pack your shit up. I'm like, for what? He's like, Suffolk County's here for you. You got to go to court. So I'm like, all right. I get indicted on the charges, which is still no big deal. It's not a serious charge at all, and I'm not even worrying about it. And I see my lawyer, and she says, all right, I got him down to 6 months consecutive. I said, listen, lady, I'm not even going to give him a half hour consecutive, so, I don't know why you keep coming at me with these offers. I'm not taking nothing. But then I started thinking, since I'm on bail, the time will count. 6 months, you only in the county, you only do 4 months. So as long as I could drag it out for 4 months, I'll have the time in. You could sentence me to consecutive, but it really will be time served because I'll have the time in. You know what I mean? So as I'm doing that, I go to court one day. She brings me into the lawyer booth, and she says, I got bad news for you. I'm like, what? I'm thinking it's about the stupid GPS device. And she's like, your DNA just came back for a burglary or a predicate violent felon. Your minimum 7 years. I was sick, I was sick. I couldn't believe it, man. I knew it in the back of my mind that was going to haunt me one day, and it got me. It definitely got me. It caught up to me, you know what I mean? And yeah, I told her, see what's going on, see where they at with all this shit, and at first I wanted the proof. I thought that maybe that I didn't leave a drop of blood, that they only had maybe blood at the tip of the glass when I pulled my hand back in, and I was just going to say, if that's the only DNA, you can't put me into the house. You can only put me as breaking it, and maybe I can get them to drop the charge or something smaller. But nah, I dropped a few drops inside, 3 drops inside the house, and I got them to drop it down to an attempt to. Second-degree burglary, rather, is a D violent felony. As a first-time felon, you'd only get 2 years as a minimum. As a minimum for a predicate, the minimum is 5 years. So I got them to knock it to an attempt, second-degree burglary, and they gave me the minimum for it. But all that time on that violation counted to nothing. Matter of fact, after she told me about that, I had to get her to push them to arrest me, to book me on the charges, because my time won't count until I get arrested for it, and I think it took me almost a full 2 months to get them to finally, book me for these charges, so my time could count. So from January all the way until I got arraigned for that charge, which was in August, counted to nothing. It didn't count to my parole because I got 5 years post-release supervision all over now because of the new bid, and didn't go to the bid because I was never, I wasn't arraigned for the charge yet, So all that time was free. I was just wasted time, and I wound up maxing out on the bid. I did the whole 5 years, every day of it, and that's how I almost did 6 years on a flat 5 because I was already locked up for all those months for my parole violation anyway, So and here we are. Now I'm on parole, doing everything I got to do, not going anywhere near anybody's houses, not going in unless I'm invited, So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that story. There's gonna be plenty more. I got a few more ideas. There's gonna be plenty more videos coming up real soon for the Bozo Chronicle section, And I do got a free giveaway coming up too, so I'm gonna make that video and I'm gonna explain how to win. There's no purchase necessary, obviously. All you got to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. At the end of the comment, leave free giveaway on it. But, I'll explain it more in the video and say when it starts and whatnot. So, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I also want to remind you people that if you enjoy these videos that I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Definitely trying to grow my channel. So, I'd appreciate every single one of those likes, every single one of those comments, and every single one of those subscribes, So, and I also want to say in no way, shape, or form, because I will be talking about my crimes that I committed in the past, no way, shape, or form am I glorifying any of it. I actually think it's a horrible thing to do, to rob somebody's house. The amount of emotional stress you put them, the whole household through, is a big deal, and I wouldn't like it done to me. So, it was wrong, the stuff I've done, and in the past, I've damaged the jewelry to try to, mask it so you couldn't tie it to any house. I've chopped the gold up into little pieces and sold them like that. And I've actually destroyed family heirlooms, So it's horrible. It's not a good thing to do, to burglarize homes, So I just wanted to actually make sure I said that and put that out there so nobody thinks I'm here glorifying it or making it sound like it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal, and I did learn my lesson. I did my time. I paid my debt to society, and I learned my lesson, and I will never burglarize another house, So hopefully none of you guys decide to do that too, Don't come in my house. Don't let me catch you in my house. That's it, though.